Hello, I'm Len Hend. Today is the 18th of May 2019, and today I'd like to make a little video, not teaching the beginners but teaching those who are already painting. There's a lot of things I see that people make mistakes over and over again. It's very easy to correct some of these mistakes, so we'll concentrate on that today. I'll paint a picture in acrylics and I'll talk about all the things I see that I think that are wrong with people's paintings. Now this painting here, quite a large painting, is acrylic on canvas. That took me an hour and a half to paint. If you want to paint professionally, you have to work like a professional. If you spend 3 months on a painting, you can't expect to get 3 months' wages unless it's worth it. If you employ a carpenter to fix a door, and he takes 3 months to fix the door, don't you think you'd be paying 3 months' wages to that carpenter? So why should amateur painters ask outlandish prices for paintings just because they spent 3 months doing it when they don't even know how to paint? So let's get into this, and I'll tell you exactly what I think is wrong with a lot of people's paintings. Okay, let's get started. I have here my colours and my piece of canvas that I'm going to paint on. It's all one piece of canvas. That's just the way I'm teaching. It's not necessarily the way you should paint. And first of all, we start with the sky, and then we do what might be water. Now this is a very simple painting. Brushes. It doesn't matter what you use to put the paint on. This is a 3-inch house painting brush. Don't muck around and buy expensive brushes. You can if you wish, if you can afford them, but it's absolutely not necessary. It's how good the painting looks in the end is necessary. Okay, my paint's a bit sticky. I haven't painted for a while, but we'll continue with sticky paint. And then a bit of blue in the corners. Now, with all paintings, it's a good idea to keep the corners dark, like that. Don't fiddle around and try and finish your sky too good at this stage. Keep your corners dark. And this area, white. We're going to talk about that a lot. It's very important that you have a white area in this area in the middle of the painting. Okay, I'll make the sky rather nice. Brush it in a bit. Now, by the way, that's Windsor blue. The idea is to buy an artist quality blue for your sky and your water, and for all your background trees, a student quality is usually okay. The sky usually needs a little bit of yellow in it and a little bit of red in it, but not red, crimson, because that's the background colours. You must have pale tones in the background and dark tones in the foreground. We'll talk about that later too. There's a little bit of yellow in that sky. I'll put clouds in. Well, before I do that, I'll clean my brush down here because we're going to need paint down there in horizontal brush strokes ready for the water. And, of course, we need the reflection of the sky in the water. So the sky is from white to dark, white to dark, white to dark in the water. A little bit more colour here. This is a very easy scene to paint and a very popular scene, possibly one of my best sellers. I used to paint in shopping centres all over Australia, and the idea was to keep the crowd amused and sell the paintings while they're still wet. I was painting in oils in those days, but now I paint in acrylics, but I wear gloves still. Okay, clouds. Let's have some white. First of all, for the clouds, you need the colour. The colour is the colour of the day, and the colour of the day is decided by which blue you use, which crimson you use or red, and which yellow you use. These are usually midday colours. There we are. That's cobalt blue. Not a lot of crimson. My paint's really bad today. And raw sienna. That'll give you a grey. You need some grey in the sky somewhere. to get depth in the clouds. Everything must be from light to dark. So I'll load this brush on both sides. It's just another old house painting brush and some white on the other side. And we'll see if we can get some clouds. Oh, that's a big dark cloud. It's going to rain, I think. There. Okay. Your clouds. So that's your clouds. I'll just sketch them in now. I'm not going to detail them. They're not the feature of the painting, but they should look okay there. So your clouds are something like that. Oop, too dark. Let's get rid of that bit. We don't want that there. We don't want to attract the eye to there. And seeing it's all finished, I'll clean my brush over here. Don't wash your brush while you're working. Keep your brush in the shape you want it, but if you wash it, it just goes back to the start. It goes back to the original shape, which is okay, but don't wash your brush all the time. You end up with a mess of the painting. Plus it wastes your time. Now we need background mountains. We've got our clouds. I'll use another old brush. And let's go for cobalt blue and white. That's the most common colours of background mountains. Okay, you put your mountains up here. You won't sell your picture. You put your mountain down there. Down there. Below halfway. Now, if you make your mountain like this, oh dear, why would you do that? Your mountains are not all shaped like that. You might get an odd mountain that's a feature that's shaped like that, but your mountain should be beautiful curves and only barely seen. Pleasant curves sloping into the picture, like that. So, you might want to put more mountains in the foreground and come darker. That's okay, but we'll just leave it like that for today. So the point here is, you need that white there. If your sky is blue all the way down, it looks like a blue sheet of paper and you've lost all your perspective as far as colour goes anyway. So you need the tones of colour. It's the same blue as that blue, but it's a very pale tone of that blue, and it must be soft, very, very white in this area to attract the eye to that area. Okay, that's our mountains for now. Now the background trees, which most paintings have, need to go along here somewhere. That's a purple. It's not a purple, it's a grey. It's a rather reddish grey. It would look better if it was a bluish grey back there, because everything's fading into the colour of that mountain and then into the distant sky, which is white. So if you put a red grey back there, what are you going to put up here where it's real close to you? You're going to have a blue grey back there, not a red grey. We'll do that again. That's not blue, but it's almost blue, and it's got some grey in it. That's our background mountain. Okay, next one. Along the top of these trees is the sunlight. Everything is from light to dark, from light to dark, from light to dark, from light to dark. The trees are so far just dark, and they need the light. So we'll add a light colour. This is some raw sienna on there. Okay, you see, it's not bright green or bright yellow. If you put your bright green and bright yellow there, you'll lose it straight away. There's no depth in your painting. You need depth. Look at this, I'll put a bit of yellow there. See, that's a foreground colour. We don't need foreground colours there. We need background colours. So let's go back to the raw sienna-y looking one. That's a little bit bright there. And it's going to come down into the water anyway, so I'll bring that down there. Looks a bit messy, but that's okay at this stage. I could be using a better brush, but that's not the point of this painting. That's too bright, that's too bright. So that's the colours on your background trees. You can highlight them a little bit if you wish, but it would be good to highlight them with a little bit of bright blue or something like that to give them a bit of distant colour. Don't highlight them with bright yellow or bright green. They're too far away. That's all there is to it. They're too far away. Right, we're down into the water now. So I'll bring that down into the water. clean the painting knife. Well, my stuff's in a mess. Okay. And we'll pick up a bright colour for back there. Often I use Indian yellow back there because it really does attract the eye. But today we'll mix up a yellow. We'll mix up a bright colour. Just a little bit of it. Now this is the bright sunlight. Like when you see a sunset so bright. Well, we need that sort of sunset colour back there. Just there. Not a lot. We don't want it coming forward too much. And that's your background bank. Now the reason I put it so bright there is because it sells. It attracts the eye back into there. It sells every time. I buy my paint in these pots. What's that? Oh, there's a roundie. There's a roundie student quality acrylic. I don't use all rounding. I just use whatever I can get hold of, and put some up there. We're going to leave them. And with the edge of your knife, you know how to do this. The very edge of your knife, you just put a white bit there. That's going to attract your eye into the picture. Then we use a few dark colours. Just mix them up, whatever they are, to give a dark line under the bank. Only a little line, not a lot. There. And this little round brush. Oh, what a mess. What happened there? Okay, we're going to paint over that later anyway. I'll put paint everywhere. Get some dark colours on your little round brush and some light colours, some dark and light. This is how you use a little round brush. If you fiddle around doing this, you're wasting your time. Spend yourself 20 minutes with a little round brush, get some nice sloppy paint and practice painting these little tiny branches. So you just put them on like that. Paint like a pro. This is usually the first I teach, is how to paint little branches like this without fiddling around, because you have to loosen up with a brush. It's not as if you're doing a special line or something. You're putting the tree trunk there. It decides where it wants to be. White lines on the water. These need to be very horizontal. Here's another one. Spend a little bit of time with a painting knife, learning how to load the painting knife and putting the white lines on the water horizontal. That's perfectly horizontal. You load the knife by putting a bit of thin paint down like that, and you're putting the edge of the knife on there. That's it. Okay, so we've got to have a tree here, that's obvious. And a tree there. Okay, no problem. Use a lot of paint also. You see my paint's not running, it is running down the board, but it's not racing down the board. So have your paint nice and sloppy but firm. Which brush shall I use? Okay, I'll put the tree in first and then the branches. That might be a way. Usually sometimes you put the branches in and then the tree, but today we'll put the tree. So I'll mix all these colours together, which will give me a very dark colour, which is shadow of the painting. And you see that yellow there? When I mix it in with these colours, it'll go to a green. Let's see how we go. Now, I want the tree leaning in, and the tree goes right up here. Okay. Now, I want to have a good talk now about something. You see that tree's up there, right up there, and of course it's reflection would be in there if we have reflections of it. Seriously, I see so many people put the tree down here so you can see over the top of the tree and see the mountains, but you're looking straight at the bank. To look over the top of that tree, you'd have to be 60 or 70 foot up in the air. Now, so many Bob Ross artists do this. They put their trees down low and you can see over the top of the tree so they can not spoil their lovely mountains. Now, Bob Ross would bloody turn in his grave if he's seen that. It's just that these people are selling I am a Bob Ross certified artist certificates just to get money off people, but they're not teaching people how to paint. They don't teach people how to see. Poor old Bob Ross, all the hard work he went to and all it is a money-making concern to take money off people so they can have a certificate telling people they're a brilliant artist, which is a lot of bloody rubbish. Okay, That's my point. Learn about eye line, the horizon line. You cannot see over the top of the tree, through the window of the house, and out the back to see a mountain. Think about it. It's crazy. Okay, I've had my say. There's a tree. Someone wants another. We're going to have another tree over here because this tree's dark. Oops, my brush is in a mess. I'm cranky now. Okay. I'm not saying all Bob Ross artists can't paint, but half of them are bloody hopeless, and yet they flash this stupid certificate around. Oh, I've got the best Bob Ross brushes. Good on you, mate. Okay, let's go. Branches. Doesn't matter what colour they are, as long as they're light and dark, and as long as they're facing in. Here's your little branches. This is where you need this thing. The branches take their own shape. They learn what shape they are. But they need to be facing in. It is a pretty rough painting, but it'll look all right. It's not the standard I would usually do in a shopping centre. It's just that I haven't painted for a long time. Most of my paint's rough. And so many people have been asking me, please do more, please do more. Okay, well, I'm doing more today. I've been a good boy. We pull them straight down into the water, straight down. Oh, there's no water there. We're going to change that. Bring it across. Makes it nice and shiny. Sometimes you bring it across. Now we need our banks. Where we put them? There's a lot of yellow paint here. Let's put yellow paint up here. And now this is not a difficult painting. You can attempt this. I'd say this is the one of Solomon. Now here, this is where you need your dark colours. You see how light that is and how far away it looks? Because it's pale. So in your painting, just make sure you're pale back there. No bright colours. Here, you can have as many bright colours as you like. Look, we can put bright red here. It's fun. Look at that. Yeah. So, nice bright colours in the foreground, or you can call them deep colours, deep tones. You call them what you like. But they've got to be very pale in the background and not pale here. If you go pale here, you lose your background. So let's keep it like that. You can have bright colours like this in here. You can have some of that because that's right in front of you. Okay, now what are we going to have over here? We better have a bank over here. I could put this on with a brush. It doesn't have to go on with a knife. To a slop. Too sloppy today. To a slop. And here. That should be dark. Okay. Let's put that there. I want to meet up under these trees. There we go. I think that's okay. Now I'll turn that into grass before it dries. Very hot here today. I don't know whether the perspiration's pouring off me yet, but it's very hot today. Okay. There's your grass. Learn to do your grass. Of course it faces in. You can use any style you like. You don't have to use my style. I'm not saying this is the way you have to paint, but for goodness sakes, get your horizon down low so you're looking through the thing, so the people who buy your painting get the feeling that they're actually there looking at the thing, not up in the air. And I say, how did you get up in there? You got an aeroplane or something to paint that from up there. Ridiculous. Now, and sorry for those who have been doing this for years, but I can't get through to everyone all in one go. But now you might realise how silly your painting looks sometimes and why you don't sell them. Everyone says, oh, on the internet, oh, isn't it beautiful? I love it. I think it's number one. But the fact is, it's rubbish. Okay. Now, if you want to see a good artist, look up Warwick Fuller. Warwick Fuller, Katoomba, Australia. He's a great man. He's a very good artist of the Australian landscapes. I had to put that on there because it wasn't defined. So we defined the bank a little bit. I'm getting a bit rough here. We're going to have a tree. Let's just have a tree. I like making trees. With the tree, You look at your knife, you have to clean it every time before you pick up paint. If you don't clean your knife every time before you pick up paint, you put it down, and the dirty colour on your knife is on top. So you just wipe your knife each time. What colour tree we have? Let's have okay, we'll paint a big tree. That's all the colours here. I don't want to muck around mixing colours because the paint's a bit of a mess at the moment. And some whites there. There's some whites there. There's a bit too much yellow for a tree, for a trunk. Yeah, look at that. Now, have a good look at your knife. Before you put it down, have a good look at your knife. It's not a matter of just picking it up, putting it on. Look what's on your knife and look what's on your brush before you put it on there. Unless you know exactly what's on there. Let's put a tree. Well, let's have a nice big tree going right up through there, okay? There, that's a gum tree. It's a sapling. We call them sapling. It's not a big mature gum tree, it's just a little one. And nice dark colours on the bottom. Not dark enough. Let's go really dark on the bottom. It goes into the ground. Now with the U-Butte little brush, there's a clean one. I know he's had it, that one. There's one. That looks good. Okay. Boy, I've got a mess to clean up here tonight. There. Okay, let's mix some dark colours and some light colour. And look at your brush. Look what's on it. Lots and lots of paint. You can't paint with no paint on your brush. So that's a lot of paint on there. So we're going to make a big branch. So it better not come from right up the top because we don't want a big branch up there. Let's put the big branch up there. Like that. 2 fingers. Like that. Leaning into the picture. And then when you're doing these branches up here, don't worry too much because we're going to put some foliage up there. Most trees have foliage. Well, the Australian gum tree is dead a lot. Oh yes, yes, yes. Here's another one for people who've been painting a long time. Do you ever have your branches crossing? I see so many trees, hundreds and millions of trees I've seen, that look like a pressed flower. They don't have branches crossing, so you need to have some branches crossing. It's very unnatural for a tree to grow just like a road map with nothing crossing. Good grief. Okay, that'll do for a moment. And then with my number 1 good quality Len Hend brush, bought for $2 at the hardware store, which you can't paint unless you have one. Let's have a go at this. Hey, beautiful foliage. Wow, that's a nice tree. Quick, quick. Okay, blue, red, yellow, all the colours of the day. And let's put the white in there, make it look nice, a little bit of white in the tips. And this one hangs down. Okay, here's another one. Don't shape your tree square at the top. It's unfortunate that the canvas is square at the top, but the tree is not. The tree goes up through the canvas, so just don't shape your trees to fit on the canvas. They can go off the canvas. That one's right up there onto the masking tape there. Okay, what have we got? Dark, dark, little light on this side. Right there. Where further? How does that look? It looks funny up there, but that's on the canvas. That's okay. That's on the masking tape. Yeah, yeah. A couple of flowers on the ground because I've got too much paint on my brush. Okay, now we're tidying the picture up. Don't overdo it. Got to find the right brush. This one will do. Any colour. Mixture of colours, and here again, so good to be able to use this brush professionally. Yes, the camera just switched off. I don't know why. Yeah. Okay, and with we can put a branch going into the water. These little things like this branch are good to attract your eye. You take your eye wherever you want it to go, so it's better if your eye travels across the picture that way. They don't have to be perfect because when you're in the bush, you look at something, you don't quite see it. There's always reflected light on it and all sorts of things. Another thing, that can help you. Now, my picture goes around like that, and there's nothing to stop your eye disappearing off there. So let's put a bird in there, about there. And that sort of catches your eye to bring it down to that tree. It's a little bit much up there, that's okay. I'll scratch my name in that. And by the way, these pictures are for sale, if you're interested. I'll rip this off. And just let me know if you want anything. I'm easy to find. Just look for Len Hend on the internet, anywhere, and you'll find me. And also, don't go away, I've got something to show you. Let's have a look at this first. Well, that's not a bad sort of a painting. It looks good. If you want to paint like a pro, look at all these DVDs already produced for you. There's 70 Australian dollars and there's 70 lessons there. You won't get a better bargain. I'm sorry, I can't say you're a certified Len Hend painter, but I'm sure you'll clean up your mistakes and learn a lot that poor old Bob Ross didn't have time to show you. Thank you very much. Bye.